This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. Okay, I have a confession to make. Up until very recently, I'd never played a Big Muff in real life, and that's not something I'm proud of. But essentially, the JHS Crimson, Ryan Davey, my boy from up the road, let me borrow it, and I was actually really impressed with that. The JHS Crimson is essentially a re-cloning of a Big Muff. And it made me want to try the Big Muff in the Helix. And I thought, while we're at it, let's try some of my other favourite fuzzes. Let's just look at the signal chain here. First of all, I'm doing my kind of usual thing where I'm kind of goosing the input a little bit going into stuff. I say a little bit, quite a lot. Red squeeze, 83%. Sensitivity 3.8 and then plus 12 dB. The amp settings that I've got here kind of vary, but this particular part that I'm starting off with here, kind of a clean, but pushed amp sound. That's the litigator going into low-high shelf, which is kind of giving me a bit more kick in the nether regions. Then going into 4x12 Cali V30. This high cut is going to be important for these fuzz tones. If you want more bite and more sizzle, open that up to sort of 6 or 8K. Then I got a delay and reverb just to make things really sing for me. Right, so without the Octavia, the Skoda, that's what things sound like. Then I've got the fuzz on it, you notice, super, super low. This is a tip that I got off Johan Lauer. Just realised I've not been recording those bits. Anyway, so my clean tone, kind of on that edge of breakup. Right, then the Tycho Octavia down at 0.2, level at 6.7. So you see, basically it's giving you that octave up thing. It's already pretty nasty, even with the fuzz at 0.2. So that's kind of, I think, a little bit of a weird sweet spot for it, if for want of a better phrase. If I wasn't goosing the front of it as hard. Still works really nicely. Now into more of a driven sound, which I think is what you heard in the intro. So I think that's a real screamer. Tycho Octavia Fuzz, and I think is that the one that Jimi Hendrix used? I think possibly. Right, anyway, so that's kind of the starting point. There I'm going to a bit more of a driven kind of vibe. So the drive on the litigator at 9.1 without the fuzz, we'd be in this kind of territory. So really taking things way over the edge then. Then this is kind of the newest fuzz in the Helix. The same settings that I've got going on here, but I'll show you again with the Snapshot 3 as well, just in case. So this is into a cleaner style of amp. So that's the Dark Dove Fuzz, which is Big Muff still, but into a more hot kind of... Can get things really happening quite nicely. Sustain here I've got at 6, tone at 6.5, and level at 5. Just like on the real thing, as you push this open, it kind of gets really quite... particularly if your cab had a bit more top end. really nice one, I think. As I say, if you open the high cut way open, but even there with no compression, it's still so saggy. Like, that's really bringing that tone to life. So that one I really like. And then the bog standard Big Muff. But I think the secret to really nailing down the fuzz tones that you might be looking for is to take control of the high end. I wouldn't worry so much about the impedance stuff, because the impedance doesn't make as big of a difference to the tone as this kind of speaker cab high cut, and where I can get more control, I can make things sound more or less muffled if I'm using the actual hardware. That's more or less what the impedance thing does for me, rather than get the fuzz tones that I'm looking for. More about setting the bass line so that you've got a tone that is going to be accepting of fuzz, if that makes sense. Like, let's go down to 10k. So yeah, for me, I sort of start around 4 kilohertz as the thing for me, because then I recognize that generally that's going to translate a little bit better live and not get into that super spiky kind of territory. But if you want a bit more brightness, and if it's maybe for home use, sort of 6 to 8 might be a good sweet spot too. But yeah, I think there's some great fuzz tones to be found in the Helix. Yeah, the Big Muff I've not spent too much time with, but I think that's a really, really, really kind of balanced sounding fuzz to me, where it's got a big, thick kind of voice. I guess that's why David Gilmour, one of the chaps that are big into that. But if you want to try these out, I'll drop these into the Gumroad folder, into the general bundle, which is where you've got, like, I don't know, 600 presets, maybe more at this point. So yeah, I'll upload that to there. I think it's £5 for that. Hopefully that represents good value to some of you if you're looking for that sort of stuff. But JC Octavia lead, Dark Dove lead, and JC Big Muff lead is what you're looking for. I'll catch you in another video soon. if you want to let other folks know your favourite fuzzes in the Helix, go into the comments, I guess. The best one for cleaning up is the Fuzz face, the Arbitrator Fuzz. That does actually clean up quite nicely, but it has a bit more of an aggressive sound to it, a bit more quite like sort of sounds like it's fuzzing out and futzing up a little bit for me. I think the Big Muff is a bit more balanced. Yeah, anyway, I'll catch you in another video soon. Cheers!